Hello, how's everybody doing? And welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing another tier list. I love doing tier lists. They're very fun. There's so many different topics that you can do. This one in particular is going to be the future UFC champion tier list. I have a list compiled of about 25 guys. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting out with number one, Paddy Pimblett. Also, let me get this out of the way. I wanted to refrain from putting guys who already have been champion, who maybe aren't champion right now, or a guy like Carlos Ulberg, who is obviously going to be champion when Alex Pereira retires after one or two more fights. The division sucks. So I wanted to refrain from putting guys like that. But first, Paddy Pimblett, this is a tough one because a lot of people might argue that his stock dropped after UFC 324. I disagree. I think it actually rose. He showed a crazy level of toughness. He showed some holes that he needs to improve on. He showed some things and some weapons that he has in his arsenal that could very much beat a lot of these names on here. I'm going B tier. Paddy Pimblett, let me just say this. If Paddy Pimblett becomes UFC champion, I will not tell you I'm surprised. A lot of people will say this dude sucks. He's just got a good chin. He's not skilled. He's only beating trash cans, blah, blah, blah. Paddy Pimblett will be a champion. A lot of things have to go right, though. Of course, Topuria can't be in the division. Sarukian probably can't be in the division. I think eventually, though, because he's still kind of young. I think he's only 30 years old, maybe 31. This could happen. You give him 3 years, you never know what's going to happen with the UFC landscape. Number two, Payton Talbot. One of my favorite fighters in the UFC by far. Probably one of my top 5 favorites, I gotta say. People hate this dude for some valid reasons and some BS reasons. Payton Talbot is going A tier. I don't know what it is about this guy. He's super young. He's 27 years old, extremely skilled. He showed a crazy level of skill. I mean, honestly, he's done that in the past couple of his fights against Felipe Lima and against Henry Cejudo. But he has good cardio. He has very much improved his takedown defense. Super tough, super durable. Has a couple holes in his game that he does need to patch up, though. He gets hit too much on the feet. That needs to stop. I like a Payton Talbot at A tier. Like I said, he's 27 years old. He has plenty of time. He's not even in his prime yet. Atiba Gauthier. If Atiba Gauthier was 31 years old, he'd be in C, maybe D tier. He's 23 years old. That is so much time to fix all of the things that he needs to fix and become champion. And by that time, Chimaev's not going to be around. Imavov will be old. All these names will be old. This guy's 23. He's not going to be in the prime of his career for another 3 or 4 years. He's going 18. I know he didn't look that good, but you need to think, this guy is so young. All these things are very easy fixes, too. Of course, he's not just going to become some god overnight, and in his next fight, he's going to be some 99 overall fighter, but with the right coaches, with the right training, with the right time that passes, this guy has plenty of time to become a champion. That's just me. Next is Tetsuro Taira. Tetsuro Taira's going S tier. I don't really need to say too much about this. I give him a pretty high chance to beat Joshua Van. I would give him a fairly high chance to beat an Alessandro Pantoja. If Manel Kape somehow becomes champion, I can see Tetsuro Taira beating him. There's just so many names that I just think he's better than. I think he's easily a top 2 guy in this division. There's very few guys who I can see him giving a run for his money and beating him. I mean, I can see Pantoja beating him if he returns to his full self and his full strength. I can see a Joshua Van beating him, maybe. But again, I don't really feel confident in that at all. I mean, this guy is destroying Brandon Moreno. He's destroying up-and-coming contenders. He's destroying everybody. He had a very, very close fight with Brandon Royval. Did lose, but still a very close fight. The guy was 24 years old at the time. Give him some slack. He was still extremely competitive. The guy was undefeated as well. He's going S tier. Walter Walker. Walter Walker's going C tier, and I know you guys are going to disagree with this, and because he's a funny guy and he's a kind of a fan favorite because he's a little funny, you're going to disagree with this and go to the comments. Is he that good? He's not bad. By no means is he a bad fighter. I would not consider him a great fighter. I would consider him a guy who is a phenomenal heel hook artist in a division of unathletic, unskilled fighters. I don't want to just dumb his skill set down to just that. But I don't think there's that much more, because if you remember, we were watching this guy fight in his debut and we were saying this guy is fucking trash. We were saying this guy shouldn't even be in the UFC. Now he heel hooks 4 guys. Who did he even heel hook? He heel hooked Kennedy and Nzechukwu, if that's how you say his name. He heel hooked one of the Taffa brothers. He heel hooked. Oh my gosh, what's his name? The guy that moved on. No, the guy that moved up was Kennedy Nzechukwu. I don't know. I can't think of his resume right now. But he heel hooked 4 guys in a row. That is very impressive, but you also have to think of who it's against. What do these guys even really do? Like, it does nothing for your resume. Beating a Kennedy Nzechukwu, beating a Justin Taffa, like, it doesn't do anything for you. Next is Gable Steveson. So I see this, everybody putting him in S tier, and he's a future champion. I was always on the train where we need to let this guy actually beat some dudes. He's 4-0. He's not even in the UFC yet. I know heavyweight sucks. Then, for some reason, I didn't even factor into the fact this guy's fucking 25 years old. He's going in A tier. He's going in A tier. The guy is a phenomenal wrestler. Of course, that is his forte. That is his skill set. He is a phenomenal collegiate wrestler. He wrestled in the Olympics. He is beating guys and destroying guys, but you also need to think the heavyweights in the UFC are awful. The heavyweights outside of the UFC are 2 times as bad as them. So you do need to take that into consideration. But he is so young. The fan base already has their eyes set on him. I guarantee you Dana White is probably a fight or 2 away from signing him. They fight anybody. Or sorry, they sign any heavyweight. They sign Marcus Buchecha, the guy who's 5-1, and he's a jiu-jitsu practitioner. They'll sign anybody to this sport. Doesn't matter what it is. And Gable Steveson wants to be in the UFC as well. I think he's going to go A tier. He's so young, and I mean, quite frankly, you just need to be good at one thing in the heavyweight division to make a name for yourself. He is amazing at one thing, and very young and only getting better, and he's a physical specimen. And he's not just some out-of-shape loser. Next. Gene Silva. He's going in S tier. You can disagree with this. I don't care. I do not care. Gene Silva is a future champion. There is no doubt in my mind. I said this before the Diego Lopez fight, and I said this after the Diego Lopez fight. I said this before the Arnold Allen fight, and I said this after the Arnold Allen fight. This guy, there is just something about him. He is otherworldly tough. He's extremely skilled. He has great power. He's a great counterpuncher. He is a dangerous wrestler. He's got good submissions. We've seen him fight at 155. He has a great chin. He has great, I already said he has great power. This dude has everything. He has the fans behind him. He has the personality. He has the showmanship. He has the mic skills, even though he doesn't speak English. This guy has everything you could think of. And he's 29 years old. How is he not champion? Volkanovski's going to leave. Lerone Murphy is already 35. I mean, in a couple of years, he'll be 37, probably not even in contention. Who's going to be in his way besides Diego Lopez and Movsar Evloev? Come on. I think he beats Movsar Evloev. Malcolm Wellmaker. If Malcolm Wellmaker was 26, 27, I think I'd put him in A tier. He's 31, though. I'm going to put him top of C tier. I am a really, really big fan of Malcolm Wellmaker. Of course, I picked him against Ethan Ewing, and he didn't get it done. Doesn't matter. I'm still a very big fan of him. I think he's very skilled. A lot of things he does need to improve on, though, and I fear that there is not enough time to improve when you're 31 years old in a division that is notoriously been very skilled. It's not at its best right now as it has been, but I think it's still a very good division, and you have a lot of very good names at the top. Those are just pretty high mountains to climb at the age of 31. Again, I'm not going to put it past him. I'm not going to say he can't do it, but I will say if he becomes champion, I would be very surprised. Next is Islam Dulatov. Very hard to say. He's only got one UFC fight against Adam Fugit, who blows, who's not even in the UFC anymore. He's extremely inactive. He has never been battle-tested. We don't really know anything about him. So I think because of that, he's going to go top of C tier above Malcolm Wellmaker. Above Malcolm Wellmaker, if I can do that. There you go. Again, he's a phenomenal striker. He's a big frame for welterweight. He's got really good power. He has good kicks. He's got, like, okay grappling. But the thing is, he's just very untested. He hasn't fought any really UFC caliber fighters. Again, he's fought Adam Fugit for whatever that's worth. He's not even in the UFC anymore. And I don't like his inactivity. Also, people who tend to have one foot in and one foot out of the fighting game don't make it to the very top. This guy, of course, is a model for Versace, and he is just a superstar from what it seems like in his country of Germany. It just seems like he has a lot of other things going on, and he has a lot of other things to fall back on. He himself says that he's a model that is a UFC fighter. He's not a UFC fighter that's a model. So I just don't know if his head is fully in it. And he is very young, so he does have that. He's a talented athlete, so there's that as well. But welterweight has never been more stacked, and I think the division is only going to get better. And I think you need to be really active and taking a lot of fights at this time to really develop your skill set. So I'm going to put him as the top of C tier for me. Excuse me. Juan Salkild. Juan Salkild is really good, man. Like, he is really, really good. I would be pretty shocked if he does not at least fight for a belt. How old is Juan Salkild? Is he 27 years old? I can't even check because my phone just fell. Matter of fact, let's just see here. He is 26. Wow, I thought he was 29. 26 years old. That's young as fuck. Where'd he go? Oh, he's B2. Juan Salkild is a very good wrestler. He's a huge lightweight, really good striker, does get hit a lot. He can be taken down. Gets hit a little bit too much for my liking. I'm gonna go A tier, man. I'm gonna go above Atiba Gautier, and I'm gonna go above Gable Steveson. Because lightweight is a very, very stacked division. Very, very deep, very talent rich. But I think he has a ton of talent already, and he's 26 years old. He's kind of a part of that Australian scene where a lot of guys out of Australia are making names for themselves. Like, you got him, you got Cam Rouston. Of course, you have all the CKB guys. I know that's New Zealand, but like the Australia-New Zealand scene is kind of meshed in together. So I think he's going to go A tier. 26 years old. That is, wow, he's extremely good for being 26 years old. Arman Sarukian, S tier. I don't even need to break anything down. He's probably the highest one here. Ilya Taporia probably has one more fight at lightweight before he either moves up or fucking retires, or I don't even know. Arman Sarukian, there is a 100% chance Arman Sarukian will become champion. The only way Arman Sarukian does not become champion is if he gets cut from the UFC because Dana White hates him. That's it. Or that Dana White just never gives him a title shot. Arman Sarukian could beat Ilya Taporia right now, and if they were to match up in their next fight, it would be hard for me. How do I say this? It would be hard for me to pick Ilya Taporia. I probably would, but it would not be a confident pick at all. I would be extremely nervous about that pick, is all I'm going to say. I think Arman Sarukian has a very high chance to beat Ilya Taporia. Mauricio Rufy. I think we're going to go A tier. I think we're going to go above Gable Steveson, above Atiba Gautier. He is young. He's 29. Very, very talented, very skilled. It's a very unique skill set in a very deep division. Of course, lightweight is very deep, very talent rich, very stacked. But he's already in the top 8. He has a massive hole in his game that does need to be patched up, though, or at least just corrected a little bit. I'm not saying he has to become a black belt in jiu-jitsu overnight, but you've got to be able to stop the takedowns. Or if you can't stop the takedowns, you need to prioritize working off your back, because a guy like Benoit Saint-Denis absolutely took advantage of him on his back. And what do you think an Ilya Taporia and Arman Sarukian can do to you? You know what I mean? There are guys, Charles Oliveira, there are guys that can make easy work of him on the ground, and they won't stand with him, because why would you? There's no reason why you would ever want to stand with Mauricio Rufy, because he's so fucking skilled. He's so hard to game plan for. He's so long as well. I think he has a 74.5-inch reach. So there are a couple things he needs to fix. I like that he's more patient now. He's not really wild. He's not doing any of the crazy shit. I think he needs to keep some of that, though, because that keeps the unpredictability factor. That keeps that factor alive to your opponents. You know, I need to see him still throwing jump knees like he was doing against Benoit and all these guys. Maybe don't do any more scissor sweep takedowns, but he's extremely skilled. He's young, has already made a name for himself, and he's in the top 8. I mean, this guy could be champion in 2 years. I may even go S tier. Actually, I'm going top of 8. I'm going to go top of 8, and I'm going to go above Juan Salkild. That would be such a cool fight to watch them two fight, maybe in a year or two when they both are established top 5 guys. That'd be so fucking fun. I don't even know who I'd pick. Sal Kill is honestly not a bad pick there. I'm probably gonna go Mauricio Rufy though, but you never know. I don't know. That's a cool little idea that I may do like a fantasy matchup or a young contender versus young contender video. Speaking of Mauricio Rufy, here's Benoit Saint-Denis. He's going top of B tier. He's only going top of B tier because he has an absolutely fatal flaw, which he just doesn't fix at all, and he refuses to fix. And it is so fucking frustrating as a big Benoit Saint-Denis fan. There is no reason why your boxing defense is that piss poor. What is your boxing coach telling you? Why have you not fired him? Why have you not changed camps? Why have you not moved cities or moved countries to go to a different camp? Benoit Saint-Denis has every single tool to become a UFC champion, but some guys can get away with fatal flaws like in Adesanya. He's not a great grappler compared to a lot of the guys in the middleweight division, but he still was a dominant and long-reigning champion. You will never see a guy become champion who has the fucking boxing defense of a statue. It won't happen. It's impossible. Any guy could just clip you one time so easily. Why has Benoit Saint-Denis never fixed his head movement? It is such an easy fix. Even fucking Yuri Prochazka fixed his head movement. If Yuri Prochazka can fix his head movement, there is no excuse why Benoit Saint-Denis has not done that. And it frustrates me so much because he's 28 years old. Again, he has every single tool to become a UFC champion. But that one flaw will prevent you from getting to the top. It's as simple as that. And that is so frustrating. Next is Jacoby Smith. I'm very high on Jacoby Smith. He's extremely talented, very athletic. Gas tank is very questionable, though. I'm going to go bottom of B tier. I want to say he's 29 years old. Let's fact check this. Let's do another live fact check here. Let's see. 30 years old. Okay. So he's 30 years old. Not terribly young, not terribly old. In the welterweight division, you can kind of get away with being that old, but also he hasn't really fought many guys in the UFC. He's fought 2 guys. He just fought Nigel Price. Before that, was it Preston Parsons he fought? Or was it Conor Madden? I think it was Preston Parsons. We got to do another live fact check. I'm so ashamed. Again, it's always late when I record these videos, and I've had a very long day, so the mind does not flow like it should. His last fight, yeah, Preston Parsons. Okay, good. I knew it. Preston Parsons dominated that motherfucker in the first round. Beautiful fight. Again, he's very athletic. He has great power. He's an excellent wrestler. He gets to dominant positions on the ground very well. Good ground and pound. Questionable gas tank. Not battle tested. Not the biggest welterweight either. That is kind of concerning. He's not a big welterweight. He's very built, but he's not a large welterweight compared to a lot of these guys. So, yeah, I think low B tier is good. Again, like he only has 2 fights in the UFC at the age of 30. If he was 28, then maybe I'd put him in A tier. And also, he does fight this week. He fights Josiah Harrell. That will be a very fun fight. I'm paying close attention to that fight because both of those guys are very interesting to me. Next is Carlos Prates. I think it's S tier. You know, I'm not a fan of just putting everybody S tier, but Carlos Prates is in a division where there's like 4 guys in that division who are at the very top. And when Islam inevitably retires after 1 or 2 more fights, I think it's going to be a revolving door of UFC champions with Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, Ian Gary, maybe Shavkat Rakhmonov if he gets healthy. I would just be very shocked if he does not touch UFC gold because, again, the division is extremely talented, but again, I even think, what's his name? Oh my gosh, what's his name? I even think a Joaquin Buckley could be a UFC champion. I think a Sean Brady could be one of those guys in the top 1 or top 2. I don't think he beats some names. Like, I don't know if he beats Carlos Prates. He actually could make that fight interesting now that I think about it. But Carlos Prates has just shown that he can beat very high and very elite levels of competition and make it look really fucking easy. Only guy that he didn't make look easy was Ian Gary, who I forgot to put on this list, by the way. I'm fucking annoyed that I forgot to put him on there. But if he is on there, I'm going to put Ian Gary in A tier, like top of A tier. Borderline S tier, but we'll go top of A. Michael Morales also S tier. I would probably put him above here. I'd put Gene Silva behind them two. I would put Tatsuro Taira. No, I would put Tatsuro Taira here because he is in the flyweight division, not a notoriously skilled division. Always very top heavy. So yeah, I think we'll do that like that. Michael Morales again. He's just a specimen of human being. He weighs like 205 pounds. He has insane power. There's very few flaws in his game. I mean, like his gas tank is fine. His power is amazing. He's got good scrambles. He can be controlled against the fence though, which is kind of concerning. That's why I think an Islam Makhachev beats him. But if he's fighting a striker for the title, that's not really going to matter. So I think Michael Morales is a 100% guaranteed lock as a future champion. Next is Anthony Hernandez. So as long as Khamzat Chimaev is in the UFC or is in the middleweight division, I don't think anybody beats him. But I think Anthony Hernandez is top of A tier, probably above Mauricio Rufy as well. He also does fight this week. He fights on the Houston card. Very, very excited to watch this fight. I mean, phenomenal gas tank, amazing chain wrestling. I've always said this. I said this, and a couple people, actually a lot of people agreed with me, which I didn't expect, but a couple people hated on me. I said Anthony Hernandez is like Nate Diaz if he was a good fighter. Anthony Hernandez has such a unique skill set and such a fun skill set. He's so fun to watch. He is decent on the feet. He has phenomenal chain wrestling, phenomenal jiu-jitsu, amazing gas tank, good kicks, super tough, super gritty. He has that style where he kind of just walks forward and just comes right at you and walks you down and stalks you. Very fun to watch, very fan favorite style. He's got a cool ass personality too. He kind of has the everyman personality. He doesn't have a Sean O'Malley type personality where he tries to pull onto supercars. Like, no, he's a family man. He's got 5 kids and a wife. He's just like, yeah, dude, I like fucking people up, and I also love my family. Like, he's a really cool and personable guy and very humble, and like I said, he has the everyman personality, which I think a lot of guys can get behind. But also, he talks his shit. He's very self-confident too, which I do like. I'm a huge fan of Anthony Hernandez. Would love to see him hold the belt one day. Manel Kape, he's going A tier. We're gonna go below. We're gonna go above Rufy actually, just because of how talented the division is. Manel Kape, there's only a couple guys that will be in his way. Those being Tatsuro Taira, Alessandro Pantoja, Joshua Van, and maybe even a Kyoji Horiguchi. Manel Kape is still relatively young. He's a big flyweight. He has big power. He's super quick. Of course, all flyweights are, but he's extremely quick. He's a little bit unorthodox too. He only has a couple questionable fights, like that one against Felipe dos Santos. But other than that, I mean, he's been tested. He's fought very tough guys. I think it's really only a matter of time before he gets there. I really wanted to see him fight so I wanted him to fight Joshua Van in Houston, but that fight didn't materialize. Apparently, there already is a fight. There has been a fight that has been signed for Joshua Van. And Manel Kape said that he was Tatsuro Taira. So we'll see. We'll see if that's true. And if that is true, we'll see what card that goes on. Would love to see that fight. Next is Bo Nickel. He's going bottom of C tier, if we're being honest. I'm still a big fan of Bo Nickel. I think he's one of the most overhated fighters. People hate on him so much for being self-confident. What the fuck do you want the guy to say? Do you want the guy to say, oh yeah, this guy beats me. I wouldn't beat him. I'm not skilled enough to beat this guy. What the fuck do you want him to do, bro? Yes, of course, he's not going to beat Khamzat Chimaev. But that's funny. That's funny that he says that. That's funny that he says that. It's kind of funny that he's that delusionally self-confident. You need that in a fighter. You need that as a fighter, and you also need that as a fan watching fighters because it makes them interesting. You get to see, oh, hey, this dickhead says he's going to beat Khamzat Chimaev. Let me watch his fight. Let me see how he looks. And, like, come on, it's so childish, dude. The UFC fans, a lot of UFC fans are so fucking insufferable, bro. You hate a dude who is self-confident, but then if a guy isn't self-confident, you say he has a boring personality. What the fuck do you even want? What the fuck do you want with these fighters, dude? I already made a video about terrible UFC fans. I could make another one, and it could be an hour long. I fucking hate so many UFC fans. Next is Kyoji Horiguchi. I didn't even explain why Bo Nickal's C tier. And there's just a lot of flaws in his game. He's a great wrestler, of course. He's not a good boxer. He's pretty low volume. He's not that skilled on the feet. He is a very small middleweight. He can be broken. His gas tank is not amazing. I just think there's so many better guys than him, and I don't think his one-dimensional skill set can get him in the top 12. I think it could maybe get him number 15. I think that's like his ceiling if he doesn't improve drastically. He is still young, so he has that, but I think with his skill set, where it's at right now, I think number 15, maybe number 14 in the middleweight division is his absolute ceiling. I even think a guy like Marvin Vettori would make it really rough for him. I think a guy like Bruno Bahia knocks him out. I think a guy like Joe Pyfer knocks him out. I think a guy like, gosh, I don't even know. A lot of guys work Bo Nickel for sure. And again, I'm a huge Bo Nickel fan. He's probably my top 20 favorite fighters. I really like the guy. I would love to see him be champion. We need American champions. Who better than Bo Nickel being fucking champion? I need this to happen. Next is Kyoji Horiguchi. Honestly, I want to go A tier and I want to go above Manel Kape. I think he's better than Manel Kape. If he were to fight Manel Kape, I would pick him to win. I think he's too quick for Manel Kape. I think he's got too much power. I think he throws very complex combinations. I think he can mix in the wrestling. He's so experienced. He has a lot of miles on the clock, but not in a bad way. We really have not seen a guy like Kyoji Horiguchi in the lighter weight class. As a guy who is that old and that experienced, but also that fresh in his career and looking that good. So I'm really excited to see Kyoji Horiguchi's next fight, whoever the fuck it's against. I cannot wait. I would love to see him be champion. He's just a really cool guy. Just seems like a really nice dude as well. Just a very likable guy and a guy that the fans can get behind. You know, he's already got a nickname in the UFC fan base. If the UFC fan base gives you a nickname, you're kind of already one of the chosen ones when it comes to fan favorites. So he's already got that. We call him the Gooch. Whatever, dude. Immature, but it is what it is. You know, we got a lot of young fans in the UFC. Next is Song Yadong. I think we're going to go... I think we'll go high C. I think we'll low B, actually. I think we'll low B. He's extremely well-rounded. He's very young. He's 26 years old. Great wrestler. He's in a good gym in Team Alpha Male. I root for all the Team Alpha Male guys because my favorite fighter of all time is Uriah Faber. And a lot of my favorite fighters did come from Team Alpha Male as well. He's taken a lot of losses. He just seems like a guy that can't get over the hump, which is really frustrating, but I think the bantamweight division is getting less skilled. So I think that gives him a higher chance to get up there because he's always going to be between number 6 and number 10, number 5 and number 10 in the division. And I mean, Marab will be probably gone in 2 years. Umar is always going to be around. I can see him being a long reigning guy in the top 2, maybe even being champion, long reigning champion. But I mean, Figueiredo's going to be gone. Petr Yan is not even that old, so he'll be there. So Sean O'Malley, I can't see Sean O'Malley sticking around for a long time. You can't convince me that Sean O'Malley is going to be in the UFC in 2030, even in 2029. I just don't really see it. I don't think he has that many fights left. Not because he's going to retire because he's taking a lot of damage, but he's just making so much money outside of the UFC, and he's got so many different endeavors, and he wants to box. And I think he really enjoys being this character and this superstar. So I can see him being not in the UFC for that much longer. I can even see him moving up to 145 eventually because that division isn't that skilled. It's very top-heavy too. So Mario Bautista, we're going to go low A. He's so damn good, and I've been trying to tell you for so long. Again, he just got hated on for a fight that he had in fucking UFC 307, dude. That was when Khalil Roundtree fought Alex Pereira. That was so long ago. Like, you guys are such children. Like, you don't like Jose Aldo that much. I'm fucking sick and tired of the guys who were like 13 years old who were like, oh my gosh, how are you going to fight Jose Aldo like that? He's such a legend. Shut the fuck up, bro. Again, I don't want to go on a rant about UFC fans because they fucking bother me so much. But Mario Bautista is so good, dude. Phenomenal jiu-jitsu. He's a great wrestler. He's really high volume. He's really calculated with his shots. He's very smart. He has great fight IQ. He's very confident in himself. I think that gets you a long way. We've seen him fight guys like Umar and put up close fights, drop them as well, do a lot of damage to him. Yeah, I mean, I would be very shocked if Mario Bautista is not a guy who is at minimum the number 2 contender. I've just been trying to tell you guys for so long. He's so good. People were picking Patchy Mix to beat him. In all fairness, again, let me be transparent. If you watch one of my YouTube videos, I was going on and on about how good Mario Bautista is and how these Bellator guys don't pan out. But then you will find an Instagram video of me picking Patchy Mix to beat him. I was picking Mario Bautista for 2 weeks, and I got psyoped, I got peer pressured to pick Patchy Mix to win. And I'm blaming nobody but myself. That was all my doing. But, again, I've been saying this for so long, and I did switch up at the last second because I got peer pressure, but it was all my fault. However, the past 2 weeks, I was still saying he was going to whoop him because he's so skilled, and I gave a very detailed breakdown. But Mario Bautista is excellent. Kevin Vallejos, B tier. He's in a division that's not that good, but he's very small. He is very young, though, so he does have that to his advantage. He has a ton of time to bulk up and get larger. But he's a very tiny featherweight, extremely skilled. I may even go a little bit. I'm going above Jacoby Smith, actually. Because, I mean, he's 24, 25 years old. He's a phenomenal boxer. He's got great power. He has a lot of dangerous weapons. He's hard to game plan for. But, I mean, we've seen him fight large guys like Giga Chikadze, very big featherweight. And in a few years, Volkanovski won't be here. Lerone Murphy won't be here. It's really only going to be Diego Lopez, Gene Silva, Movsar Evloev. Why is there somebody that I can't think of? There's a name that I just can't think of for some reason. But, yeah, he's going to be in the top 5 for sure. He's already ranked, and he's fighting Josh Emmett next. I think that's a great test because Josh Emmett is a really tough out. He's a huge featherweight. He can wrestle really well as well. So that'll be a nice little test for him, too. He's experienced. So I'm extremely excited for that fight. Yeah, I think mid-B tier is good. Is good. Joaquin Buckley. This is a tough one. I'm a huge Joaquin Buckley fan. He trains out of my home state in Michigan. He trains at, oh my gosh, what's the gym called? It's in Lansing. Murcielago MMA. It's about a couple hour or hour and a half away from where I was from. But he's very good. Very fun. He put up a competitive, I mean, that's actually a lie. He put up a competitive 5th round against Kamaru Usman. But I think he took a lot of time off to learn and fix a lot of his mistakes. He's still relatively young. I think he's only 31 years old. He is going to be a guy who's going to be in the revolving door of the top 6 guys. I just think a Prates and a Michael Morales are going to beat him if they fight him. And a Rakhmonov, honestly, as crazy as this sounds, Joaquin Buckley could be Shavkat Rakhmonov. It's not crazy at all to say this. I might pick a Joaquin Buckley to beat a Shavkat Rakhmonov, and not even because he's injured and he got injured. If you asked me this 6 months ago, I would have said that. Man. I'm gonna go be in like middle of B tier, just because that division is so stacked. But oh man, this is a tough one to say. Because obviously the bias in me wants to put him A tier, but I mean if I want to be honest with myself, which I always am going to be, I'm never going to put my bias above the truth and the practicality of a situation and the honest assessment of a situation. So I'm going to go middle of B tier. I think Prates beats him. I think Michael Morales beats him. Of course, Islam beats him. We saw Kamaru Usman beat him. Sean Brady, I think that'd be really interesting. I may favor a Joaquin Buckley in that, but I don't know. I think Sean Brady can make that really close. So I think we'll go B tier. Next is Azamat Murzakanov. I mean, probably like middle of A tier. The division sucks. It's so talent shallow. There's like fucking three good names in division. Pereira's going to be gone, so you're going to have Ankalaev, you're going to have Yuri Prohaska, and Carlos Ulberg. Actually, I don't even think he beats any of those guys. And he's 36 years old, and he's fighting Paulo Costa next, which makes no sense. Who the fuck is his manager? Why would you ever sign that fight? But 36 years old, he's a relatively small light heavyweight. He's short. He doesn't have great movement. I think a Yuri Prohaska KOs him, but I think Murzakanov could also hurt him bad. I think an Ankalaev beats him pretty easily. I think a Carlos Ulberg probably beats him pretty easily. So actually, I'm going to go down to B tier. Yeah, I'm going to go below. No, I'm going to go above Joaquin Buckley. I think Azamat Murzakanov has a higher chance to become champion than Joaquin Buckley does because Azamat Murzakanov is in a very much so inferior division to Joaquin Buckley. I'm not really going to pay attention on like, oh, this B tier guy is higher than this B tier guy. I'm just going to whatever. I think this is about fair. I'm going to leave a link to this tier list in the description so you guys can play around with it, make one of your videos, or just play around with it with your friends, whatever. Thank you very much for watching. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at VinceMMA1. Leave a like, subscribe, share this video, comment what opinion you agree with or disagree with. Comment which guy you think will be a future champion. Go to 3punchconvo.com, linked in bio, linked in description, and use my code VinceMMA for a first free month. And stay tuned to the YouTube. Like I said, we're trying to do minimum 5 videos a week. Thank you very much for watching.